This is an exciting time, isn't it? You've had metabolic and bariatric surgery and your new transformation has begun. But who are we kidding? It can also be a time of confusion and uncertainty. What do you eat now in the next few days? What about these first 6 to 8 weeks? It can be overwhelming, but I'm here to help you. Coming up, I have helpful tips and suggested recommendations so you get the best outcome on your new surgery.
You spoke and we listened. Our chewable multivitamins are now dye-free, meeting your demand for more options. These dye-free chewables join our calcium chews and multivitamin soft chews in the dye-free lineup. Visit ProCareNow.com and use code Susan10 to save money.
I'm bariatric dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell, ex-radio dietitian turned podcaster. You're listening to the Bariatric Surgery Success podcast. Are you frustrated with all the confusion when it comes to nutrition? I get it. It's hard, isn't it, to decipher sound science from fake or pseudoscience. There's so much incorrect nutrition information, especially online. It's enough to make you give up and say, I don't know what to do. Well, I do. I know what to do. It matters where you get your nutrition information. When it comes to your bariatric surgery, nutrition is specific. So let's cut through that nonsense and get what you need to know now. I created the Bariatric Surgery Success podcast to give you accurate nutrition information you can count on. Simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies that work. I want you to feel great every day. Get out there and do the things you want to do. You're in the right place, my friend, so let's get started. Did you receive my weekly newsletter called Breaking Down Nutrition? If not, what are you waiting for? It's a quick way to keep up on nutrition for your bariatric lifestyle. Sign up today on my website, breakingdownnutrition.com. You'll be the first to know about helpful nutrition tips and recipes, giveaways, product specialists, latest podcasts, upcoming interviews that you don't want to miss. What you eat, those first sips and bites are going to morph a lot in the next days, weeks, and months as your body heals from the surgery. So let's focus on the 6 to 8 weeks immediately following your surgery. Remember, every surgery center and their dietitian may have their own nutritional regimen for you to follow, depending on your surgery. So today's information will work in tandem. But if you have any questions specific to your case, always follow up with your bariatric dietitian or your surgery center. Think of your next 6 to 8 weeks as a gradual progression in terms of food texture and consistency. Immediately following your surgery, your diet will be room temperature, clear liquids, or basically anything you can see through for 24 to 48 hours, up to 4 days. So the average on this is typically 3 days. You will sip your way slowly up to 8 to 12 cups of clear liquids every day, which is about 2, almost 3 liters of water and other liquids. Once you get the okay to drink from your medical team, you'll begin with small little sips, about every 15 minutes as tolerated, and you'll build from there. Don't miss this. Did you know that dehydration is the main reason for rehospitalization after bariatric surgery? That's why fluids are so important to start your journey off right. So if you're multitasking, come in close as this is important and I don't want you to miss it. Clear liquids don't include carbonated beverages, as the carbonation tends to introduce air and cause a lot of discomfort, something you do not want right now. Water, protein water, broth, bouillon, low sugar, clear protein drinks, sugar-free drinks and sports drinks, and decaf tea. Notice I said decaf, all work during this initial phase. Protein waters and very low sugar, clear protein drinks are a good way to start adding protein back in your diet from the very beginning. If you have no issues, somewhere around day 3 to 4, as you continue to heal, You'll add other liquids called full liquids, and particularly high protein full liquids. This means liquids that you can't see through, such as milk, soy milk, sugar-free drinkable yogurt. Milk, soy milk, and drinkable yogurt all contain protein. So again, you're starting to include protein sources right away, as you did with the clear liquid protein drinks. You may also try high protein, low calorie liquid supplement drinks like protein shakes. And these protein shakes should have 12 or more grams of protein. Actually, closer to 20 is even better, and around 180 to 220 calories. You can also use protein powder, which you can stir into milk and soup, for example. This will help you meet your protein requirements during this full liquid phase. You can listen to episode 50 if you want to learn more about how to choose the best protein powder. I'll put the link in the show notes, but you can find episode 50 wherever you're listening right now. You might be wondering, okay, just how many grams of protein should I need each day on full liquids? Well, again, the aim is going to kind of vary. So we're going to say there's a range of 60 to 100 grams, with the total depending on which surgery you had. So be sure and clarify this with your bariatric dietitian. You can get protein from protein shakes, like we just talked about, yogurt smoothies, cottage cheese, basically all pureed. Think of it right now just like baby food. Full liquids also include soups that have been pureed, such as tomato or vegetable and pureed, no sugar added fruits and vegetables pureed, similar to baby food. And depending on your bariatric surgeon and your surgery center, you might stay on full liquids 1 to 2 weeks, while other centers suggest up to 21 days. So again, here's where it really varies. This isn't unusual. It varies per center, with the dietitian and with the surgery that you had. How are you doing so far? Are you hanging in there? I know you can do this tough work. Let's keep going. We're down 2 to 3 weeks down the track. And after these 2 to 3 weeks on a full liquid diet, it's typically time to move on to a soft diet for about a month, maybe. And a soft, I'm thinking things like scrambled or boiled eggs or soft meatballs, vegetables that are cooked and peeled. Notice the word peeled for right now. And soft peeled fruits, again, peeled for right now. Think of a soft food as one you can easily cut with the side of your fork or spoon. Now, here are a few tips I think will help you even more in this phase. Tip number 1, you will fill up much more quickly than you did before surgery. So expect that. Because you don't have a lot of room for quantity, eat your protein food first. Did you miss that? Because you don't have a lot of room for quantity, eat your protein food first. It's so important to get those grams of protein in. That's part of the specific science behind bariatric surgery. Chew it so well that you're like a blender and it becomes pureed, similar to baby food in your mouth. So you are chewing. You want to get in that 60 to 80 grams of protein a day. So starting with it first helps you be successful with that daily goal. Plus, bonus, protein makes you feel full and satisfied. Tip number 2, this is the time to learn to eat very slowly, with a meal taking 20 to 30 minutes. I know you're going, what did you say? I know, unheard of here in the U.S., where our meals tend to be gulp and go. Taking your time lets you feel and learn fullness cues, so critical as you go along this journey. Stop when you are full. And also, it prevents vomiting and the stretching of your pouch from overeating. Next tip, don't miss this. Now is the time to separate liquids from solid food. What does that mean? You might have heard it called the 30-30 rule. It means to drink your beverages 15 to 30 minutes before you eat and then wait 30 minutes after you eat. Why does this matter? Remember, your capacity for food is much smaller, and you need to meet your food and your fluid goals. You will accomplish this so much more easily by separating liquids from food. Remember, you're aiming for 8+ cups of water or 2+ liters. That's each and every day, along with your food. And if you want to learn more about this 30-30 rule and get into the specifics and how it can benefit your journey, listen to episode 140, and the link is in the show notes. But again, you can find it wherever you're listening right now. Separating fluid from food also helps you learn and recognize fullness cues. And fullness cues, as you go along, become more and more important, because when you can listen to your body and you can feel, I've had enough to eat, you stop before you're stuffed. You stop before you're overeating. You stop before you're bringing in too many calories. Plus, you will feel better, as separating fluid and food prevents food and drinks from moving too fast through the body, causing nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. So when you separate them, you have less problems with any of these. But 4 to 6 weeks out from surgery, and you're doing well, it's time to add some solid food to your diet, including legumes, so all types of beans and split peas, cooked soft, fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, and a small amount of starchy food, such as a baked or mashed potato, corn, or peas. Notice when we talk about carb foods, such as fruit, veggies, or potatoes, we're not talking about the more refined slider carb foods like candies, cakes, cookies, etc. Now, why? These highly processed slider foods set you up for dumping syndrome that occurs if you eat foods high in sugar and fat. And symptoms of dumping include lightheadedness, sweating, rapid heart rate, cramping and abdominal pain, nausea, diarrhea. These symptoms are the last thing that you want right now as you are healing. So about 6 to 8 weeks have passed now, and you did it. You progressed, and you're now ready at this 6 to 8 week point to transition to a regular, healthy, balanced diet. This step is so important. You've had surgery, yes, and you will eat less, true, but you will still eat regular, nutritious food that provides you with broad spectrum nutrition, satiety, that feeling of fullness. The portions are just smaller. Did you catch that? One of the reasons to move forward to healthy, regular food is to help prevent weight regain and feel satisfied from the various foods that you eat. Again, the portions are just smaller. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm not so sure, I want to go back to real food, that's what got me in trouble to start with, and I don't want to gain weight. Remember, your focus is on real, healthy, nutritious, and tasty foods, yes, but also on smaller portions and foods that are lower in calories. If you're dealing with any pain, nausea, vomiting, be sure and consult your bariatric dietitian. Well done. Pat yourself on the back. You are worth it.
Bariatric Surgery Success with dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell is produced and owned by Practicalories, LLC. All rights reserved. Remember, the content provided on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't create a patient-provider relationship. It's intended to provide reference material and is not designed to provide medical advice. Please consult your healthcare provider regarding any medical issues you have relating to symptoms, conditions, diseases, diagnosis, treatments, and side effects. Podcast guests express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions which do not necessarily reflect or agree with the host, Dr. Susan Mitchell, or Practicalories, LLC.